Welcome back to the TowerCast podcast, the towering podcast for El Paso and the world. Filmmakers all around, we love you guys. We love to talk cinema. This is what we're here for. Before we introduce the amazing guest here, I want to note that we're at the Las Cruces International Film Festival talking to amazing filmmakers. Got to introduce my fellow co-host, Mr. John Eric Castro.
How you guys doing?
And Mr. Michael Delao.
Hello again.
Offering an acting perspective in cinematography. I'm your humble co-host, Carlos De La Torre, giving you a writing, directing perspective. We're talking to an amazing individual that's inspired so many, including us. Emmy Award winner, Academy Award nominated actor, but he also directs. He does it all, and he does it all amazingly. And we love his work. We're talking to William H. Macy today. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me here. You guys are very impressive.
Thank you so much. We chatted.
This is so phallic. Jeez.
Yeah, well, we got to use our imagination somehow, right?
It's smaller, but
but we work with it. Thank you for being on. We chatted a little bit prior to rolling cameras on just how much you inspire us and what we've been able to do independently and what you're doing independently with making your own films as well. So that's the goal, is to inspire the next generation of filmmakers.
Yep. It's a brave new world. There's a lot of places to put these films now. I mean, it seems like television is the new thing.
Absolutely.
I don't know about four-walling it. I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not hopeful, but there's so many places to sell your films now.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a plethora of outlets.
Yeah.
Before we get into kind of some of the recent stuff, tell us about your journey as a storyteller. What made you want to become a storyteller in general? What kicked that off for you?
I love that's the way you put it, because that is what we do.
Absolutely.
I guess my father was a great joke teller.
Oh.
And he loved jokes, and we sat around a lot and we talked a lot. And in high school, I did a play, and I didn't fail at it, and I sort of got the bug there. And then when I went off to college, this little hippie school, I met David Mamet, who was is my mentor, smartest guy I've ever known, taught me everything I know. And
through the drama department, or just in general, mentor of yours?
It was a drama department after a fashion. Did I mention it was a hippie school? It was called Goddard College. We didn't waste times with silly things like tests or classes or learning or,
Just the craft.
That was the bad news. The good news was we were there on our parents' time, and we had nothing but time. And Dave Mamet put together it was a class, but I guess it was more like a company, a theater company. Okay. And we did these things we called etudes, which were extended improvisations that would go for 48 hours.
Oh, I love that.
Some crazy stuff. And he wrote.
Did you guys film that?
Was
that around?
theater, right?
Did we?
It was theater.
Oh, it's theater?
Theater.
You guys didn't film that?
No, there was no. There were people filming at Goddard, but not narrative stuff, not at all.
Okay.
So you fell in love through it there. You caught the bug, and then when was the moment you think that you said, "I can do this for a living. I can pay my bills doing this"? Wow, how amazing!
These are great questions. Well,
or there wasn't a key moment. It just kind of
Slowly commercial.
I don't know why, but I've always been pretty good at making money. I was always the guy. When after we'd order and everyone had eaten and everyone then admitted, "Oh, I forgot my wallet." Yeah, right. I was the guy who had the money, and I started my career in Chicago, and I did commercials, and we were bodacious. David always told us, "Make your own fun," which is exactly what you guys are doing. So my friend Stephen Schachter and I started a theater there, and the first play we did was American Buffalo.
Oh wow!
And when I say started a theater, we rented a place and put a theater in it.
Right.
I'm a bit of a carpenter. I was.
So you did the whole carpeting?
Yeah, we
chairs,
actually built a theater.
Build it and they shall come. Type
It was
of thing.
completely illegal. We never asked anyone, and we had to get a big board of directors who allowed us to stay open, because the first time the fire department saw it, they went, "Oh my God!"
It's already built, but you know.
But I was always making money. I taught classes. Even though I was in my 20s, I was teaching classes. I did a lot of plays, and we owned that town there for a while.
Wow. And so theatrically, did it ever occur to you, I want to do this on camera, I want to do this to the screen, or was it just part of that experience of maybe I should try this out?
I had a brief time that I was sort of snobbish about film and thought, well, I'm a theater actor, and it didn't last long because it's bullshit. Everybody wants to do a movie. That's really what you want to do. And I moved from Chicago to New York, and I did off-Broadway theater, a little bit of off, but I hit the ground running because I had done well in Chicago. And sooner or later, you know, the little small parts started to come in. First thing I ever was on camera was a pilot that they shot in Chicago called Spider. And that's all I can remember about it.
Did it get picked up or anything?
No, it didn't go. But I had a line, so I was...
That was a big deal. You weren't an extra. You went back and you said, this is where I shine. Absolutely. Well, I know we got limited time here because there's tons going on here at the festival, but there's key moments that we'd love to talk to you about because we're massive fans of your work, and I think we'll kick it off with the film that's screening here at the festival, which is Fargo. Right?
Yeah, Fargo also just one of my favorite Coen Brothers films, and your character in that is just so, I mean, just enticing in every way, and it's that character you don't know whether to root for or not, and you don't know where it's going to go, but you play that part so well, and it's just amazing how you bring that to life. But I mean, how did that kind of start up? Yeah.
I've done very well with taking objectionable characters and making you accept them on some level and maybe even like them. The trick, I think, it's the way I learned. I thought Jerry Lundegaard, the guy I play, I thought this was, I treated it as a movie where he's protecting his family. He had an unreasonable father-in-law who was withholding funds, and I fought back, and
certainly didn't treat him as family.
Yeah, it was. I had to go extra legal, but I thought it was justified.
Sure.
So I was always trying to do something good. It was for my family, and I think that's the trick of it. I was fighting a righteous fight.
Sure.
And even though you don't know it, there's something inside of you when you're doing that.
Right.
Really
on an acting perspective as well. Now, working with the Coens, how was that? How did that shape your intentions there with your performance?
They wrote a great script, and they're smart as whips. They're really good. Roger Deakins shot the thing, and they plan exquisitely. It's calm. It's a calm set. We never chased the sun. There was nothing of that. There was no snow, so we never got to rehearse the film, which is what they wanted to do, because they were scouring the country looking for snow.
Sure.
Ethan is more of the writer, but they both write, and Joel is more the director, but they both direct, and they both produce. They're really funny, really different. It's the preparation. They're exquisitely prepared.
Awesome. And now moving into another role, which again, do we root for him? We feel bad for him half of the time, but at the same time, the questionable things. Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights. How was that experience? That's another character that we're rooting for, we feel bad for, but at the same time, what's he doing? What's he getting himself into here, right?
Oh, I know.
How was that experience?
I was worried for a while that I was, especially after Fargo, that I was going to get saddled with playing the loser, the guy over his head, and films like Boogie Nights just doubled the pressure on me. But it was a great experience. I've told it before, so I don't think Paul minds me telling it. But I was doing another film, and they sent me this script for Boogie Nights, and it was an X-rated film. I mean, there was sex and all this. And I called my agents, and I said, "Are you having me on?" And they said, "No, it's they're going to make it an R rating, and there'll be rewrites. But no, what you see is what you get.
Wow.
And I love the script, and so I did the thing. You're the DP part of this, and you're the
Yeah.
actor part.
Yeah.
Well, I started putting my pitch together to talk to Paul Anderson about the way I'd play the character, you know, and to seem interesting and smart. And we met in L.A., and I sat down, and I launched into my pitch, and Paul sort of interrupted me, and that's kind of the last thing I said for the whole meeting. And at a point I thought, holy crap, he's pitching. I got the role. He's trying to talk me into accepting it.
Right.
And I wish there was a camera on me, because you could see me, I'm sure, just go.
Just that flip, like.
That's right.
And this is right off the heels of Fargo, right?
Well,
So
it was
you-
after. It takes a while, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Just
Fargo
about,
had
just about.
changed everything.
Absolutely. I mean, you've had over 140, 50 credits to your name just in acting, but one that sticks out the most, absolutely, is Shameless.
11 strong seasons. I feel like I grew up with Frank, and I remember the pilot to the last season, man. I mean, it was just
Your arc.
your arc as Frank. It kind of hit close to home with me right now. I know it hit close to you home.
Yeah.
Were you in the writer's room? Were you scared? Were you kind of like, did you want to go that route of Frank, you know, having that dementia? Or how was that like? Because I'm like, I
was
cried
in,
in
the
so
writer's
many
room
scenes. And it was
once with
beautiful.
my friend Steven Schachter. We wrote an episode, and it wasn't fun. Television is very collaborative. So we wrote this script, and we labored over it. And then everybody and his brother started peeing on it, and it was so different.
Really?
And
And as an actor, quite frankly, some people, I don't know if this was the case with you, are terrified of playing the same role for their decade. But you kept
Me
it
too.
fresh, or were you afraid as well? What was the?
yeah, I was afraid.
But
But
you
it wasn't
seem to
me.
love
I did.
it.
It wasn't me. It was the writers. It was great. It was great. As far as the last season goes, because my dad died of dementia, I had pitched some ideas to John Wells, who was the Grand Poobah, and he took some of them, but he was very secretive about how it was going to end. And he was smart to do that, because everybody had an opinion,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
all the actors
Absolutely.
wanted the big finish.
Absolutely.
So we really got the final script a week before we had to shoot it. And I had strong opinions, and I pissed off some people. They went in I thought a couple of times that it wasn't, the jokes were at the expense of
Yeah.
character, and it wasn't time for a joke.
Okay.
And,
Exactly.
but they listened to me. I mean, after 11 years and being number one on the call sheet, you do have some
Absolutely.
authority.
Sure, absolutely. Now, out of all of the trajectory of your career, what's some advice you can give us storytellers and storytellers listening in on what to do, on how to jump into this if they want to jump into this? You know, what advice can you impart?
Since you've been in the game for
And
so
then
long.
What's kept you going for over 130 roles?
I took do you know Robert McKee, his story structure class? Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
took
yeah.
that. I thought he was really right. For a lot of the mechanics, write it in 3 acts, because that's just the way humans have always
Sure. Yeah.
told stories.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you rush them on it, and it's
Right.
Just to have a
yeah, but it's 3 acts,
Yeah.
and you better know what the story is going to be about by the end of the first act, and you spend the middle 60 pages just making it hard on your people. And then, as Robert McKee said, if it comes to the climax and nobody expected it, you're going to have a successful movie. But if you could put another something that they didn't see after the climax,
Right.
you too can own 2 homes. I think a story has to be true, not literally true, but it has to be true to the human
Condition.
experience, the human condition. And I've seen things that they're kind of not true.
Yeah.
They don't ring true even
No,
as
no.
fiction. It doesn't matter. It has to ring true to one's heart, right?
Dave Mamet, as I said, is my mentor, and he calls it the popcorn rule. You say to your buddy in the movie, I'm going to get some popcorn, and you come back and you say, what happened?
Yeah.
And the guy says, well, he tried to kiss her, she slapped him, he got mad, but she really wanted to kiss him. And Dave says, that's good storytelling. It's that simple. So I think kill your darlings is another way to say it.
Sure.
I think words like interesting will kill you. You want to be direct. I think you want to stay ahead. You have to stay ahead of the audience. You have to surprise them. I think that for me, what's death in watching a film is when I know it's going to happen. I see it happening. And there are examples where we know exactly where it's going to what's going to happen, and they're still great. But as a rule, surprise your audience.
Awesome.
That's wonderful.
You heard it here on the TowerCast podcast on what to do as a storyteller from the amazing William H. Macy. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you again.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. And stay tuned. We're going to keep talking to some awesome filmmakers here at the festival. Thank you so much, Mr. Macy. We appreciate everything you do for us.
Thanks.